Ladies and gentlemen, this RedGaming.com video. Microsoft are reported to be very interested and very keen to see what Valve do with the Steam machine and the Steam operating system. Now, for those of you who aren't initiated or unfamiliar with the system, it's basically Valve's play for the living room. The Valve team are working on a Steam machine which works on a variety of different pieces of hardware as well as a Steam OS. Now, the Steam OS will be a completely open source and free operating system that can work on any PC system, and it's going to give you a variety of different benefits, including but not limited to the fact that it will be able to play games and so on, just like you'd expect. However, it's also got the other ability, very much like the PlayStation 4, for example, where you can actually stream games from a certain machine. So let's assume that you have a very good gaming rig in, say, the study, and you want to play a certain game in your living room, but you don't want to go into the study, you'd rather play it on the big screen. Well, that's absolutely fine. You can use a very cheap system to simply stream the game over your Wi-Fi/wireless network, and well, Valve are certainly getting some interest in this. Phil Harrison, for example, is actually starting to talk about this, and has said, and I quote, Valve is a very impressive company, and obviously we're going to be watching what they do with great interests. I'm not going to speculate on whether the companies may or may not be doing, but from our point of view, clearly the Xbox One is the best incarnation of living room entertainment, but competition is good. I think the death of video games consoles was prematurely announced. Clearly, this is a lot of excitement around gaming in the living room and one of the biggest screens in the house, oftentimes connected to a great sound system and creating that real high-intensive, high-quality gameplay experience with a very powerful CPU and a very powerful GPU. He also pointed out that he believes that digital distribution is going to be an unstoppable force. Those are, quote, his words. And Microsoft, of course, will remain to endeavor to give us a choice with physical media, so in other words, traditional disc-based titles. But he believes that eventually, as internet connections become faster and faster, we're going to slowly drift more towards digital distribution, simply because it's more elegant and easier. So what are my thoughts on this? Because Valve are certainly getting a lot of attention. Obviously, Valve are not exactly Microsoft's best buddies, especially Gabe. Now, Gabe Newell, who is of course the head honcho at Valve, has spoken many times that he doesn't like the Windows-based operating system. He cited numerous reasons, but he doesn't like the enclosed nature of Windows. He also doesn't like it because he doesn't like the fact that it costs extra money. He believes that it's a barrier to entry, and much more besides. In fact, he's more pushing towards Linux distribution. From what we understand, and it's not that much at the moment, I'll completely and utterly grant you, because Valve aren't announcing everything, but what we do know is that they are pushing towards getting larger games distributors and creators involved in the Steam OS, and they are indeed actively pursuing things such as improved APIs and so on. Microsoft, of course, are very much pushing for the entertainment in the living room, so this is going to be very interesting. From Sony's perspective, I imagine that the SteamBox is slightly less of a piece of competition than maybe it is for the Xbox. The reason I say that is because we understand that the Steam Box can do a lot. We are talking about streaming videos, it's going to be able to do multitasking, and indeed, you will be able to download the distribution. You'll be able to just bugger around with it if you so wish. You can install the applications, or you could buy a Steam Box and you could put in a different GPU and whatever. Of course, the lower end Steam Boxes are most certainly going to be less powerful than a console. However, when you start getting higher up there, or if you decide to just, build your own box, you're certainly going to be able to beat a console's specifications. However, that doesn't necessarily equal to more popular. So I guess from the perspective of both Sony and Microsoft, they're going to be watching this extremely closely. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a really big analysis on this whole situation, because by that point, Valve will have announced even more stuff. As time of recording, it's about 22 hours, and Valve are going to announce even more stuff. We're not exactly sure what they're going to announce, mind you, but they've never announced anything small, especially when it comes to an actual countdown. In case you're not exactly familiar with what I'm talking about, you can go to steampowered.com/living-room and you can physically see a countdown. You can also check out the other pieces of news by simply clicking on the illuminated bubbles. I really like that word, illuminated. But still, I think Steam are going to be certainly making a play, and they are stating that you're going to be able to use things such as gamepads, televisions, and much more besides with this technology. And they are certainly... they're pushing forward is basically what it comes down to. And Gabe is, of course, a big fan of technologies such as OpenGL, which actually works really well, might I add, for the PlayStation 4. It just so happens that the PS4 is using a version of the Linux operating system, a very base level, and in addition to all of that, it of course will be using the PSSL, which is the PlayStation shader language, which is combined with things such as OpenGL. So there's going to be a lot of crossover there, so I personally am going to be very curious to see just what happens in the PC market space over the next 12 months or so, particularly as, of course, next generation consoles are going to be x86/64 anyway, are going to be using a very PC-based GPU. If you want more information on this, why, my good sir, then you could check out the NVIDIA interview that I was checking out yesterday, and NVIDIA have had their own thoughts on this, saying, and I quote, that PCs are going to far outpace consoles, and consoles have absolutely no prayer, effectively, of keeping up with our high-spec PC. And the video have also spoken at length about other situations in the gaming industry. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Sorry guys, I'm half out of it today. I've just come back from the gym and a very long day at work, so I'm a bit, not exactly at my 100%, but regardless, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to get going, so take care of yourselves and bye for now.